Do you want to learn the new Insta360 app to create better videos in the easiest and fastest way? Congratulations on getting a new Insta360 camera. Now, if this is your first 360 camera, you might feel a bit overwhelmed. It suddenly seems more complicated than those review videos made it seem. But don't worry, this is a tutorial for the new Insta360 app. It works for the Insta360 One R, the Insta360 One X, and any future consumer 360 cameras. The app has a lot of features and it can be confusing to learn how to use them, but also more importantly, when and why you should use those features. So who is this video for? This video is for two groups of people. First, beginners. If this is your first Insta360 camera or your first ever 360 camera, then this tutorial is for you. This tutorial assumes no prior knowledge, so we're gonna go step by step. It's also progressive. I don't go over every single feature because that would just be overwhelming. Instead, I'm gonna focus on the most useful features, the ones you'll be using most often. And more importantly, I'm going to help you to understand the app. Because when you understand the app, then you'll know how to learn by yourself. And you'll even know how to use features that they add in the future. Second, this tutorial is for those who know how to use the app but want to get better results. I'm going to show you fundamental video editing concepts that will help you create better videos. And I'm going to show you which tools in the app will help you use those video editing principles. Now this video is divided into 5 parts. First, connecting and shooting with the app. Second, editing the appearance and presentation of a photo or video. Third, basic video editing for storytelling. Fourth, automatic video editing. Fifth, combining multiple videos. We'll even learn how to combine One R or One X videos with videos from other cameras such as your smartphone. I've included timestamps so you can find the parts that are most relevant to you. Let's get started. Part 1. Connecting and shooting with the app. Why shoot with the app? 3 reasons. Number 1. Remote control. You can move away from the camera and still control it. Number 2. Speed of control. For the Insta360 One X, it's faster and more convenient to adjust the settings with the app than with the One X menu. Third, live preview. You can check your exposure and composition and adjust them as needed. Now, how do you connect with the app? First, turn on the camera. Next, connect your phone's Wi-Fi to your camera's Wi-Fi signal. Third, launch the app. Now, if this is the first time to connect the app to your camera, there's going to be a prompt on your camera screen to confirm that you want to connect to this particular phone or tablet. Now, let's look at the app screen. Explore is where you see and share photos and videos with the Insta360 community. It's a great source of inspiration. Album is where you'll view photos and videos. Stories is for templates, which we'll discuss in parts 4 and 5. Settings is for app settings such as turning off the Insta360 watermark. If you see a red dot on the settings, that means there's an update available for the app or the firmware. Just scroll all the way down until you see About Insta360 and then tap on the firmware or app update. Now let's look at the shooting screen. Up here you'll see the capacity of your battery and your storage. And on the right side you'll see a hexagon. This brings up additional options for a rule of thirds grid, a histogram, and GPS. Now if you're shooting with a 360 mod, you will not see the rule of thirds grid. At the bottom, you'll see the different shooting modes. There's video and photo. Now, those are just the main shooting modes. There are actually several types of videos and several photo modes as well. Now, to change video mode, we tap on this gear icon. So I'm tapping that. Now, on the left side, you'll see the different video modes. There's standard video, HDR video, time-lapse, and auto time shift. For 360 mod, the options are a little bit different. Now the key concept here is that when you choose a mode, it will bring up the options relevant to that mode. For example, when we tap on time-lapse, then we can see that we can change the shooting interval. So in this case, now it's going to be 5 seconds apart for every shot. Now you can adjust that to make it longer or shorter. In addition to choosing a different type of video, you can also adjust the exposure. So that's the setting right here next to the shutter. So when we tap on that, we can see that we can switch between auto and manual exposure. We can also tap on the next icon, which is for exposure compensation. In other words, the brightness or darkness of the photo. Now it's going to be in plus minus 4 EV half stop increments. Now if you're not familiar with exposure and you want to learn more about aperture, shutter speed, ISO, all that stuff, then there's a link in the description below to a tutorial about exposure. Now the next icon is for white balance, and usually I don't touch that because the white balance is pretty accurate. So those are video modes. Now let's switch to photo. Now just as with video, photo has several modes of its own, and to switch to them, you also tap on this gear icon. And just as with video, you tap on the leftmost icon to bring up the different modes. There's HDR video, burst mode, interval photo, and night shot. And just as with video, when you tap on each mode, it reveals the settings that are relevant to that particular mode. So for example, with HDR video, you can change the aspect ratio, the field of view, the self timer, number of shots in the HDR bracket, in this case 9 shots, and the next icon is for the exposure interval, which in this case I want it to be 1 EV, so this is going to be a 9 shot, 1 EV apart. Now one option that's common to all of the photo modes is this last one, which is for the file format. So there's two formats, there's JPEG and then RAW plus JPEG. Now RAW, if you're not familiar with it, is a format that gives a higher quality. On the other hand, RAW does usually require a little more editing to make the colors look more like what you would expect. And the other disadvantage of RAW is that you'll have to edit it on the desktop. You can't edit RAW on the Insta360 app. Now one new option for single shot is this last one, which is called PureShot, which is available only for the 4K mod and the 1-inch mod. So PureShot is, first of all, a RAW mode, but in addition, it uses AI to edit your photo automatically to make it look its best. And it's really good at bringing out shadow details in low light photos. Now, just as with video, we can also adjust the exposure. You have full control with the Insta360 app. Just tap on this icon to the right side of the shutter. You can choose the different exposure modes. In this case, there's auto, manual, ISO priority, and shutter priority. And of course, for each one, it will reveal the settings that are relevant to it. So for example, with ISO priority, I can choose the ISO that I want to shoot at and the exposure compensation. Now let's take a photo. So when I take a photo, all I need to do is press the shutter and we'll take the photo. Now let's learn how to view your photos and videos in the gallery tab. To view your photos and videos, tap on the album tab. At the very top, you can tap on camera to view the photos and videos that are in the camera but haven't been downloaded yet. Local shows the photos and videos that have been downloaded to your app. Below that, you can tap on this icon to view photos, this one for videos, and this one for favorites, or this one for all of them. Now, the cool thing with Insta360 is that you can share or even edit your photos and videos without having to download them first to your app. So here I can tap on camera, and this one, for example, I haven't downloaded it yet, but I can already share this or even edit it here in the app. After taking a photo or video, the file will be in your memory card. Now there are two ways to share it. You can either share it directly or you can download it to your phone or tablet first and then share it. If you're going to do a lot of editing, I recommend downloading it first. You'll also want to download it if your phone or tablet doesn't have a SIM card. If you won't do a lot of editing, then sharing directly is faster and saves space on your phone. Then to share it, I just tap on this share icon on the upper right corner. Now it's going to appear in my phone album. Editing for appearance. The key concept here is emotion. Think of what emotion you want your audience to feel. Now use that to guide how you adjust the photo or video for appearance. Let's see the different ways that you can adjust them. Now this one, it says adjust, and this lets you adjust things like exposure, like how bright or dark it is, and you can also use it to change saturation, contrast, that sort of thing. When you're satisfied, press the check mark on the upper right corner. The next one is filter, lets you apply Instagram like filters. There's also a little filter up here called the beauty filter, which makes skin look smoother. So for example, when I apply a strong beauty filter, then you can see that my skin looks smoother. So again, when you're satisfied, press the check mark. Next is music. Music is really important. It's very effective for changing the motion of your video. You can choose to adjust the balance between the ambient sound and the music. Here it's mostly ambient sound, and here it's mostly music. Next is multiview. Multiview is like a picture-in-picture effect. To use this, first select the point where you want the picture-in-picture effect to begin. So let's say here, and then press the plus button over here. So then choose the ending point. So we're going to drag this to the end of the picture-in-picture effect, and press the check mark. So if you want to undo it, just select this yellow bar and then tap on this trash can icon, and it's gone. Next, let's learn how to use the speed effect. Now, speed is obviously a very different effect from multiview, but I want you to notice the similarities between the way you use them. So to begin the speed effect, tap on the speed icon. Now, the next thing to do is scrub the timeline to the point where you want the speed effect to begin. So let's say here. Next, choose the kind of speed effect that you want, whether slow motion or fast forward. So let's say I want to use fast forward. Next, scrub the timeline to the point where you want the speed effect to end. Then, tap the check mark to end the speed effect. Now, you could begin another speed effect segment. So for example, by switching to slow motion. So I'm just going to tap on the slow motion effect, let's say 1/4 speed. And then once again, I'm dragging the timeline to the point where I want the speed effect to end. So let's say here. Then I end that segment by tapping the check mark. Now after adding all the speed segments, then I can save my changes by tapping on the check mark on the upper right corner. Now, editing for storytelling. For videos, the classic technique is to show first an establishing shot that tells the viewers where we are. Then it's usually followed by a wide shot of the subject, then a medium shot, then finally a close-up. So those are the concepts. Now let's learn the tools. There are 3 tools in the app for storytelling. Number 1 is jump cut. Number 2 is mark. And number 3 is reframing. Keeping in mind the traditional pattern, I'm going to scrub through the video really quickly, looking for my establishing shot, my wide shot, my medium, and my close-up. So I'm going to start here. Here's my establishing shot. Then as we move closer to this gate, I'm going to use this as my wide. Then this one doesn't fit, so I'm going to ignore it. This looks like it could be a medium. And this part could be a close-up. All right, so let's do that with jump cut. I'm going to scroll back to the beginning of the video. And then I'm going to tap on edit. Then I'm going to tap on trim. Then I'm going to scrub the video to the beginning of the establishing shot. Let's try this one. I'm going to tap on the scissors. Then I'll tap on the scissors again to end. Then we'll move closer. This is going to be our wide shot. Then I'm going to end that. And the next one. Okay, here. About there. And finally a close-up. Okay. So now I'm going to press check mark. Next, let's learn reframing. Reframing is the way to get exciting camera moves. We first capture a 360 video, then convert it to a non-360 video where we control the camera. There are 3 types of reframing. The simplest one is tracking. This focuses the camera on only one subject. To use deep track, it's really easy. All you have to do is hold your finger on the chosen subject. So let's say in this case it's me. Now it's going to track the subject. Deep track works really well. It's able to track me even when I'm changing positions. Now the second way to do reframing is to use Viewfinder mode. In Viewfinder mode, you use your phone or tablet as a virtual camera. It's easier to understand when you see how it works. Now to use Viewfinder mode, I'm going to tap on the plus button on the timeline. Now look for this camera icon, which is the Viewfinder icon. When you tap on that, you'll see a slider there. Now as long as I'm pressing that red button, then I'll be recording. And in addition to recording, I can also zoom in or zoom out. Slide left to zoom in, slide right to zoom out. And here's a tip. Viewfinder mode is easiest when you're using a swivel chair or when you're standing up. So let's try it. Now from here, I just keep pointing my iPad like a camera while keeping the shutter pressed to record the video. I'm also sliding the shutter left or right to zoom in or zoom out. As soon as I let go of the shutter, it will pause recording. So at any time I can pause the recording, change the view by pinching out, for example. And I can switch to a tiny planet view or a rabbit hole view. And that's it. The third way to reframe your video is keyframing. Keyframing means that you specify the starting position, the ending position, and then you let the app figure all the steps in between. It's best for precise camera movements. So the first step is to specify the starting position. So let's say I want to move it here, so aligning it to the rule of thirds. To set that as the starting position, I'm going to tap on the plus icon on the timeline. So I'm going to tap on that. Now we've created a keyframe. Now we can also specify the field of view from tiny planet, ultra wide, wide, linear, or narrow. We're going to stick with ultra wide in this case. Next, I'm going to drag the timeline to the ending position. So let's say here, and then I'm going to swipe the screen to the view that I want as the ending position. So let's say here. And once more, to create a keyframe, I'm going to tap on the plus icon. Now when we drag the timeline to the previous keyframe, it's going to gradually change the view from this view to the other view. Let's try it. Now besides moving the camera this way, we can also keyframe the rolling movement. We can go to this keyframe, I'm going to tap on that. We can use this slider to adjust the roll. You can go all the way to 360. Now let's learn about automatic editing. There are three types of automatic editing in the app. Number one is themes, number two is shot lab, number three is autoframing. Let's learn the differences between them. Themes are basically templates. You can automatically create videos synchronized with music. Here's how to use it. Using themes is really easy. It just takes 5 steps. From the main screen, you want to tap on stories. Next, tap on themes. You'll see a list of available themes. Step 2 is to select a theme. So let's say I choose this one. Then tap on use this theme. Step 3 is to choose the videos that you want to use with a theme. Each theme will tell you how many shots it needs and the minimum duration for each shot. So in this case, I need 6 clips and it tells me how long each clip has to be. Then all I have to do is select each video for this theme. Now step 4 is optional. If you want, you can choose which part of the clip you want to use. Just tap on a clip and scrub the timeline to the point where you want it to begin. Step 5, tap on preview, and if you like the video, tap complete on the upper right corner. This will export the video into My Stories where you can share it or you can customize it further. You'll learn how to customize it in part 5 of this video. Now ShotLab is another kind of template, but this time ShotLab is more focused on special effects. The other difference is that with ShotLab, you have to shoot the video in a specific way. So when you shoot a particular ShotLab, It will give you instructions on how to shoot the video. After following those instructions, select the shot lab and then apply it to the videos you've recorded. Now, there are many types of shot lab effects, and some of them can create really cool effects. Keep checking the app. The third type of automatic video editing is autoframe. Now, autoframe is a little bit confusing. When you first apply it, you'll end up with a bunch of clips and you're not sure what you're supposed to do with them. So here's the concept. You should analogize it to traditional filmmaking. See, with traditional filmmaking, there's usually a separate camera for each actor. So autoframing works the same way, except that it creates a virtual camera for every subject that it identifies in the scene. Now, of course, some of those subjects are not relevant, and that's okay. You don't need to use them. Instead, just choose the ones that are relevant to your story. So first, tap on this autoframe icon. The app will analyze your video. Give it some time. It can take a little while, especially for longer videos. After it analyzes your video, it's going to show you the number of subjects that it identified. And for each clip, the app's going to show you a little icon that shows you what the app saw in that clip. For example, a forward arrow shows that it's a forward view. It could also be a person, a monument, a pet even, or a vehicle. I usually review each clip just to figure out which ones I want to use. Then I select the videos that I want to use in the sequence that I want. Next, you'll want to trim each clip. Just select the clip and then adjust the beginning and end points. Let's say here and then trim the end, and it's going to show you the duration of that segment. So in this case, 16 seconds. Let's make it like more like 5 seconds. Finally, hit save and then click on share. You'll be given the choice to either export the entire clip as one video or as individual clips. By the way, when you've used autoframe on a video, you'll see that its icon is going to change to a collage of 4 videos. Here's another tip. If you've autoframed the video, then each clip that's been identified in that video counts as a separate video for purposes of shot lab or themes. So you can use a single video for a shot lab. Now that we know how to edit single photos or videos, let's put it all together by combining them. We can even combine them with photos and videos from other cameras such as your smartphone or even another 360 camera. So from the main screen, look at the bottom tab called Stories and tap on the tab called My Stories. Then tap on Create a Story. Now from this screen, we're going to select the photos and videos that we want to combine by tapping them on the upper right corner of each icon. You need to select them in the order that you want them to appear in the timeline. Now these are photos and videos from the Insta360 app, but we're not limited to those. We can also access photos and videos that are in your phone's gallery by tapping on the All button on top. So from here, for example, I can add this photo into my timeline. When I'm done selecting them, I can tap on the check mark on the upper right corner. This is going to add the photos and videos to the timeline of the project. Now from here, you can do several things. First, you can change the order of the clips. So for example, I could drag this clip and move it there. Next, I can tap outside the timeline so that I can select the music or change the aspect ratio. And you can add music as well. In addition, we can edit each video clip the same way we've learned to edit our other videos. So first, tap on the video that you want to edit. On the bottom, you can see the different ways that we can edit them. So from the Cut tab, we can select Copy, Split, Replace, or Delete. The next tab is Tune, where we can adjust it, such as for exposure, contrast, saturation, and so on and so forth. Tweak lets you trim the video or add speed effects or adjust the volume. Frame is for 360 videos, and that means that yes, you can reframe 360 videos from My Stories. So here, for example, this clip is 96 seconds long. We don't need it to be that long, and we can reframe it. So first, I'm going to trim it. So I'm going to tap on Trim. Then I'm going to scrub the timeline to the point where I want the video to begin. Then I'm going to tap on the other bracket to mark the point where I want the video to end. I'm also looking at the duration of the clip to make sure that it's not too long. Next, I'm going to tap on Reframe, and then we can reframe this video. So I'm going to point it where I want it. Let's say here, I'm going to tap on plus to create a keyframe there. Then let's say here, I want to start tracking my daughters. I'm going to hold my finger there and it's going to track her. So then I'm going to tap on stop tracking. To save my changes, I'm going to tap on the check mark on the upper right corner. Now, in addition to editing each video clip, we can also add transitions between each clip. Simply tap on the space between two clips. Now, there are many transitions that you can choose from. In addition to adding transitions, you can also add more photos and videos. Simply tap on the space between each clip, just like with transitions, but this time, move it all the way to the left and then tap on Add Media. This brings you to the same screen where you can add photos and videos from within the Insta360 app or within your phone gallery. In addition, you can also import 360 photos and videos from other cameras. This one, for example, is from the GoPro Max. Now the cool thing is if it's a 360 photo or video, then you can reframe it or add the other effects that we showed earlier for Insta360 One R or One X photos or videos. Auto tracking, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna hold my finger there. Yes, it is auto tracking me. And this is GoPro Max. When you're finished editing your My Stories project, you can tap on the share icon to begin exporting the video to your phone gallery. And that's it! Congratulations! Now you know how to use the Insta360 app. For more tips on using your camera, check out these videos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in 360.